So I'm talking kind of quietly because I don't want them to know what I'm doing. But May and our friend Kim are in the other room watching the Bachelor night where all the guys come back on the show, and they're literally the most entertaining thing. I'm gonna try to steal some footage. They're going crazy. They're all Team Luke, by the way.
Story about when you were in the military. By the way, thank you for your service.
Woo!
Yeah, go Army.
You told JoJo about the story when you were in the military.
What are you doing over there?
Nothing.
Loss.
Noah! Oh my God, I almost killed you.
You know, giving me that appreciation for life.
How excited are you guys that she kicked Luke off?
That was the takeaway for me.
Not excited at all.
Yeah.
She's so
I'm not getting
actually
tomorrow.
kind of excited because now he can marry me.
Well, now he's available, so way to go, JoJo.
I didn't take my own.
You need to relax.
Yeah, well.
That's
making
fine.
the most out of each opportunity that I had.
How many followers does Max have?
175,000.
Yeah, so imagine this girl. She has 900,000 followers. Imagine how much money she has.
This is the
Persian girl, she just has great hair. Literally got famous because she has really good hair.
She actually isn't even
Because I
cute.
just wanted you to be happy.
But she actually has amazing hair. Look at that.
Wait.
Look at this video. But that's how she got famous. And now she just like...
We'll let you guys in. Ah, kidding. Alright, so it is Friday, about 5:40. I'm gonna get the date right one of these times. We're looking at July 29th. So, just got off of work, got to change real quick, and I'm gonna go head over actually get a deep tissue massage. What joke did I come up with? I'm gonna get a deep Kleenex massage. I'm not in my normal work attire, which is gym clothes, but every Friday, the end of the month, the last Friday of every month, we do a jeans for charity day, so everyone else gets to dress down, but your boy gets a chance to dress up. So what I'm wearing is my Ledbury blazer, which I'm currently obsessed with in pretty much every one of my outfits. My Ledbury brown checkered shirt, and then that new Weekend Casual pocket square that I highlighted in my last Espresso Box video. If you haven't checked it out, please go do. Save you 10%. Just drop Chase in the promo code at checkout, all right? So let me get a little more comfortable. Got to take a little Nella nugget out and then head over for my massage. Oh. You ever like take a deep breath and it dries out your throat and you just wind up choking? That happens to me a lot. Alright, so the massage was so good. Exactly what I needed. I've been flying a lot lately. So back and forth to LA, back and forth to North Carolina, back and forth to Georgia. And my back was just like, so the massage went really well. Deep tissue for an hour. Came back home, whipping up some dinner, and I find Boo Thing already in bed, watching Friends. Say, hey babe, you hungry with some dinner? Say, no, I already had 3 bowls of Cookie Crisp. Let's dig deeper, people. A more high quality dinner option. Her choice.
What are you doing?
Do you have anything to say for yourself?
What?
Your choice in dinner?
It was easy.
It's your option for a lot of things.
Like you.
Yeah. Also, this just in, May is that guy. May is that guy who helps herself to the last bit of the cereal, but you know what? They do you a salad. They leave you some, so you still have something to look forward to. Except it's like less than a quarter of a serving.
It's a serving for me.
It is not a normal serving. I'm not afraid to go back to jail.
My cereal, I can do whatever I want with it.
Oh yeah? Why I oughta. Like I find myself doing a lot of Saturday mornings is catching up on my reading because old people stuff. And this book I'm finishing up is called The End of Illness. I don't know if it's gonna, can you get some of that? Okay. So this is by an MD, by Dr. David Agus, maybe a silent J in there, I don't know. But this is a phenomenal read for anyone looking to kind of just learn a little bit more about the human body, a doctor's approach on preventive medicine versus when medication is necessary. His specialty is oncology, works in a lot of cancer units and research. So it's all kind of looking at ways to prevent and best manage and ideally treat cancer through lifestyle intervention, specific nutrition. He does a really good job of taking anatomy, physiology, pharmacology, chemistry, and kind of dwindling it down to, I would say, about maybe like a junior level in college. Nah, probably a little bit less than that. But honestly, I'm gonna use this book as a reference and probably go back and reread it a lot. So while I was reading this, I thought I would kind of highlight on a few other books that have read or am reading, because I get a lot of people asking me questions about what I'm reading, what I like, authors that I like, and kind of areas of interest that I progress towards when I'm trying to read for knowledge. So I'm going to use this time to kind of just expand upon my current personal library. All right, so let's get going kind of rapid fire. Two books that are kind of a series, sort of kind of not really, but I think they pair very well going from one to the other, is going to be Charles Duhigg's The Power of Habit, and then his follow-up, Smarter, Faster, Better. Why we do what we do in life and business. Very, very interesting read. The biggest takeaway that I got from this was that he kind of does a great job on highlighting kind of behind the scenes efforts that corporations and businesses do and go through to formulate habits that you may not even realize you have, but it's really them kind of working the strings. And Smarter, Faster, Better was a great follow-up in the sense that once you kind of learn the power of habit, this kind of allows you to apply it in a lot more kind of precise businessy type aspect, but just helping you on efficiency, productivity, the secrets of being productive in life and business. So two great go-to back-to-backs. Up next is one that I actually have not physically read, but I did listen to the audiobook because I'm a huge, huge fan of his podcast, and that is The School of Greatness by Mr. Lewis Howes. Now, I had the chance to actually meet Lewis at the IDEA World Personal Trainer Convention back in LA 2 weeks ago. Heard him speak at the end of the Business Summit series. Very, very good guy, very great speaker. Honestly, the way he had us interact was something I would not have expected from him. So he's very, very insightful like that. And I actually got my fanboy autograph right here. It's like perfect gold. Okay, so The School of Greatness is all about Lewis's story of how he grew up, his kind of original aspirations and dreams of becoming a professional football player, how injury prevented that from happening, and how he really learned to grow on his own and take adversity and turn it into advantage. So this day and age, he's one of the foremost leaders on entrepreneurship and honestly just connecting people so that everyone can reach their full potential. And if you haven't had a chance to check out his podcast, I highly recommend it. It's one of the ones I listen to every day. I think he puts out like 2 a week, at least 1 a week, but without fail, every week I'm listening to his The School of Greatness book and School of Greatness podcast. One book that I do not currently have presently here, and I don't know why, that is my go-to food nutritional resource Bible is What to Eat by Marion Nestle. It looks like Nestle, the candy bar, but it's actually pronounced Nestle. One of the best books I've ever read, best resources I've ever found on kind of learning about food, what's good, what's bad, a little bit of the politics behind it. Honestly, anyone looking to expand their horizons on nutrition, learning to kind of spread the word if you're a health coach, personal trainer, nutritionist, whatever. It is hands down one of the best nutrition resources I've ever found. Up next, kind of along the lines of not quite self-help, but kind of just self-reflection. Past couple weeks, past couple months of my life have been all about awareness and kind of bringing mindfulness to the forefront of everything that I do. And Dr. Don Colbert, he's another MD doctor, wrote this book, Deadly Emotions. He actually has another book out that I read years ago that I really liked. It was called The 7 Pillars of Health. But Deadly Emotions is all about, okay, so we can teach you to eat well and exercise, but there's a lot more that goes on up here that affects directly your actions. And so Deadly Emotions is something that I will probably go back to every once in a while, hot topics, and I think soon I'm just gonna go back and reread it again. Up next is Sir Ken Robinson's The Element. This book, if you don't know who Ken Robinson is, he is a world-renowned speaker, predominantly in the area of education. He's a British guy, does a lot of great TED Talks. But this book, The Element, is all about how finding your passion changes everything. So he tells a story in interviews and goes through the background of a lot of great leaders today, a lot of great entrepreneurs, and kind of shows they didn't start at that point. And he explains what it was, what that catalyst was, and kind of help them realize their passion, and then how they use that to excel in life, personally and professionally. So really, really great read. Again, go check out a lot of his TED Talks. If you're not really a reader, you can get a lot of great information from his videos and speeches. One that is kind of just, for fun, a little bit good of a backstory is First by Rich Froning. He is the world's fittest man. He is, I think, a 3 or 4 time CrossFit Games athlete winner, first place in men's, the guy's just a beast, honestly. I picked this up like a year ago because I have a huge man crush on Rich. Pretty cool story, nothing like super overwhelming as far as like, oh wow, that was amazing, I can't believe that happened, but just a cool story nonetheless, and it's very, very interesting to get inside the mind of a champion like that. This is one that I've referenced every once in a while. I get hit up about relationship questions or you know, dealing with significant others. This is the 5 love languages. This is actually the men's version. It more or less is the same thing as the traditional 5 love languages, but it just has a little bit more geared towards the male persona and the mindset of, I'm a man, how do I perceive and look at and evaluate my companion, my female companion. So anyone who's in a relationship, whether it's with your friends, your family, significant other, homosexual, heterosexual, even if you're single right now, I think it's a great read to go through because it allows you to learn more about yourself so that when you do get into a relationship or in one and going through struggles or whatever, that it really brings awareness into the best ways that you need to be loved and how you best respond in relationships, but also kind of allowing you to see that what works for you may not necessarily be the same love language as your partner. So it kind of helps teach you the best ways to love, as well as to allow your partner, inform them how they can best love you. Okay, up next, this one is Younger Next Year, kind of getting back on the medical topic. This is co-authored by an elder guy, an elder patient. This guy, Harry, who is a patient of Dr. Lodge, excuse me, yeah. So it's co-authored by a doctor and a patient. And it really does a great job of combining what a doctor thinks are the best practices for maintaining a healthy life, and then you get someone who's actually living it. Someone who is years down the road, what their best pieces of advice are, what works for them, what hasn't worked for them, and really kind of gives you dual insight onto life, medically, personally, for fun, longevity. Very, very cool read. This was actually recommended by my company, my work, and we all read it, so pretty cool. Younger Next Year. They actually have a workbook that you can do along with it too. Up next, one that I read earlier this year, this is Malcolm Gladwell's David and Goliath. Now, Malcolm Gladwell is a guy that is on my Amazon books to read list. He has a lot of books out there. I know Outliers and so many other titles. The guy is a leader in kind of just, I don't even know, I'd say self-help, but just a great interviewer, a great talker, great speaker. He also has TED Talks. So anyone looking at kind of just, you know, how things work, how people reach success, this was a great book on looking at people who struggled initially and then what they did and who are the key components and key aspects in their life that helped kind of be the catalyst to propel them, you know, from being a David, being a Goliath. And 2 other books I have on deck are by Mr. Michael Pollan, and that is going to be his In Defense of Food. Now, I sort of kind of read this, skimmed through it a couple years ago. It was actually part of our curriculum in my undergraduate work. And then The Omnivore's Dilemma. These are just 2 books that literally every other book that I read, they were like, you need to read this book. So I just picked them up just to have on deck. I know I need to read them, and I'm surprised I haven't yet. But these are also just 2 kind of nutrition and eating books that I really, really can't wait to dive into. And lastly is Nudge. This book is all about improving decisions about health, wealth, and happiness. Now this book was, I gotta say, a little underwhelming. It came highly advised by one of my professors in grad school, and it sold more than 750,000 copies on the front cover. New York Times bestseller. I think maybe just because I've already read so much about this topic of literally nudging people and instilling and creating new habits and minor lifestyle modifications that have great long-term effects. So maybe if I'd read this, I don't know, a couple years ago, I would have had more of an impact from it. But I mean, an easy read, good read nonetheless, but nothing I think super new or overwhelming that I was like, oh wow, shit, I gotta reread this again, and I can't wait to tell everyone about it. But a good book to have on deck nonetheless. But that's a wrap, guys. So if you have any other books out there that you recommend, I would love your feedback. I have so many on my Amazon wish list that I'm just waiting to knock out. I really want to read The Happiness Project, Big Magic. I have a few other kind of more science-y books. I want to learn a little bit more, you know, kind of movement physiology, or relearn rather. So I'm all about self-help, awareness, cool interview stories, kind of, you know, rags to riches stories, and then, you know, anything in the diet, exercise, science, nutrition world. So I would love your feedback and anything down below. If you have any questions about the books that I went over here, more specifics about what the book actually entails, I would love to help you out. So that's a wrap. Thanks for watching. And for the rest of you guys, thanks for watching. As always, you stay classy, planet Earth. And as always, you stay classy, planet Earth.